Well, good morning. How are you all today? Welcome to Integrative Preparedness. I'm Steve Smith. For anybody who's new or just wandered by, it's good to have you. Welcome to all the new people. It's good to have you here, and both on YouTube and on Patreon. I want to talk today about accountability because I think I disagree with the way that a lot of people talk about or think about accountability. And something happened yesterday that just kind of reminded me of that, and I think it's important. Before we get to that, I just put one up over on the Patreon page about building groups. I answered one of our patrons' question. That's one thing. If you're over on Patreon, and the link's down below, you can message me questions, and I get right to them and right on them about forming and building groups. And I think differently about that than most people. So our people on Patreon will get to see that, and if you're not, you ought to be. It'll be good for you. You'll get a lot out of it, not just me, but we have a lot of smart people over there. As always, this and all of my videos are brought to you by my books, the Stonemont series. They are a complete guide to preparing for, surviving, and rebuilding after a complete collapse. They've been out there. They've been teaching people since 2017 all over the world. We have people who have read through the whole series 5 times and say they keep finding stuff in there that they missed the 4 times before. They are the best, I am told, by people other than me, that they are the best series out there having to do with preparedness. The reversion, the revival, the renewal, and appeal to heaven, the blessings of freedom, and hostages to fortune. You can get them. They're available through Amazon. I'll put the link down below on either paperback or Kindle, or from me directly on our website, stonemont.us. stonemont.us. And if you order it through, and that's really the best way to do it, go through stonemont.us, and because it lets you, it says, well, you want Steve to sign your book, you know, what do you want him to say, things like that, and I'm happy to do it. Now, something special for Stonemonters. For you Stonemonters, and for those who don't know what that is, those are the people who have read the Stonemont books. They are kind of a part of the Stonemont community. Today is shirt printing day. I'm going to send out everybody who has put in orders. Now, if you put your order in the last couple of days, yours isn't printed today. It'll probably be printed tomorrow after we make another run, after we get our orders in. It's usually, it usually takes a couple of days before the order pops up, bubbles up to the top, and then we order the shirt. We do everything ourselves because I want to make sure that everything is top notch and top quality. I'm wearing one of the new shirts right now. Can you see that? It says Stonemont, and it's got the Stonemont pine tree, and then underneath it, where life is good, because that is where life is good. If you've read the Stonemont series, you know that life is good, and that's the purpose behind it. We have these, and I'll show you the color. This is another one that was just printed out. This is the bar, the Stonemont bar shirt. Can you see that? You see, I'm covering myself. I suck at this, don't I? I mean, really, I do. Let me over here. I don't know if you can see that or not. But it is the mountain that says Stonemont. It's got the crossed axes, the Bible in the middle, and the crossed rifles. And I call it the bar shirt because it's Bible, axe, and rifle. That's what our country was based on. When the Pilgrims came over, when the settlers came over, they brought their Bible, they brought their axe to cut, to clear places and to build, and the rifle to support themselves and defend themselves. And right down below there is one of my favorite verses. It's on the Stonemont notebook too. It is Psalm 127:1. Except the Lord build the house, they labor in vain that build it. Except the Lord keep the city, the watchman waketh in vain. So that is one of our most popular one. And this is, now the color that I'm wearing here is called, what's it called? Royal Pine. It is beautiful. It is pretty. By the way, these are excellent t-shirts. I looked at all the different t-shirts around. These are soft. I never cared about wearing soft t-shirts until recently, but man, the difference is amazing. Yeah, I've always worn those stiff, crackly t-shirts. These are amazing. These are out by Next Level, and they are soft and so comfortable you can't believe it. This color is, what's they call? This is the sage color. Also, they're offered in ash. That one's not printed yet. And they call this military green, but it's a nice, it's a good green. I like them. And in tan, or what do they call? I don't know. It's a khaki, a tan, a very light khaki or a tan. They have a different name for this. This is a Gildan. It's the only one that's not next level, but it is their premium. So these are premium shirts. I love them. You'll love them. And the other one that will be printed today, I didn't have a sample to show you, but it's on the website, and it is the Stonemont Alumnus. For those who have read the books, or probably all of the books, Stonemont Alumnus. We had a bunch of orders for those. We just haven't printed them out yet, so I didn't have them to show you. Okay, let's get to the topic of the day, shall we? And no, I'm not even going to say it. Just a second. I've been out in the garden. The tomatoes are coming in just beautifully. I've been out there picking my breakfast. So accountability. I hear a lot about accountability. And I disagree with the way that many people think about it. And I was talking to one of my brothers-in-law yesterday. I was talking to both of them, but and one of them, we were talking about this subject, and it reminded me of a guy that I knew. He was a good friend of mine, very good friend of mine. He's dead now. Too bad. He because of his lifestyle and his life choices, he had some major medical problems, and he's gone. His wife divorced him, and I won't get into any more of that. This friend I was talking to years and years and years ago, he was very well respected. He was top level in the martial arts. He was one of only a few people who were in both the USA Karate Hall of Fame and the USA Jiu-Jitsu Hall of Fame. And the real ones, not the phony ones that they give out. If you're in the martial arts, you get letters all the time. We want to invite you to put you in our Hall of Fame. It's just a bunch of marketing BS. Now, he was in the real ones. He was a legit guy. He got successful, and he started putting on weight, and he put on a lot of weight. So much weight that it became detrimental to his family and to his health. And finally, he got to the point. Now, he never went to see a doctor, so who knows how many things he had wrong with him. But finally, he went to a doctor. He get to the point to where his ankles were swollen. He could hardly walk. And this guy used to be legit. I mean, this guy used to be a banger. And so I was out at his dojo one day, and he said he had gone to a doctor. And the doctor had put him on a plan. He said there were some things they needed to do with, but first he needed to lose some weight. And so the doctor put him on a plan, a diet plan, exercise plan, I don't know what. And he said, you know what? That's what I needed. He says, I needed accountability. This doctor is going to hold me to this. He says, I'm not accountable to anybody. I've never been accountable. I'm not accountable to my wife. I'm not accountable to my son. I'm not accountable to my students. I'm not accountable to anybody. Because he was a big dog, right? But this is what I need, to be accountable. To be held accountable. And that's what this doctor is going to do, and that's why this is going to work. And I just shook my head. And I was pretty straight with him. I was pretty straight with him on a number of things. I said, you don't realize. You are accountable to yourself. And you are actually accountable to everyone who depends on you. You think just because they can't tell you what to do, you're not accountable. Absolutely wrong. You are accountable to the ones who depend on you. You are accountable to your wife. You are accountable to your son. You are accountable to your students. You are accountable to them so that you can function fully and properly as a productive member of the family. So all this guy ever did was sit behind his desk. Gotten to the point he couldn't get out there and do the things. Finally, it got to be too much. His wife divorced him because he was just not bringing anything to the table as far as a family's concerned. Making money, yeah. But as far as contributing to the family, as a father, as a head of the family, no, that had gone. See, she had a right to expect that he would be a full participant in the marriage, in the family, and all that. So I told him that. I says, but you shouldn't need to be accountable to anyone else, because you should be accountable to yourself. Subservient to your accountability to God. Now this, for those of you who are believers, you'll understand exactly what I'm saying. If you're not a believer, that's all right. Stick with me. You'll still understand this. Okay. You're accountable to God, who gave you a perfectly working body, who gave you a mind, who gave you all of the talents you have, who gave you the marriage, who gave you the wife, who gave you the kids you have, who gave you the opportunities that you have had and will continue to have. He gave you a body that is to be respected and not mistreated and misused. You know, if you mistreat and abuse the body of another person, everybody knows that that's wrong. But somehow, if you abuse and mistreat your own, everybody likes to see you as a victim. You're not a victim. This is what I was saying to him. You've victimized yourself. You have sabotaged yourself through self-centeredness, through laziness, through, whatever, your lifestyle. You have not been responsible to God or those who depend on you by making sure that this machine God gave you is working. And that up here too. People who are drunks, people who are whatever, And I know that's big with the AA, accountability. No. If you have to be accountable to someone else, you're weak. You're weak. How can you say that, Steve? That's being extra mean. Well, I'm not mean. This is a double dose of loving truth from Uncle Jim. The truth. Truth can hurt, right? But the truth is the truth, and the truth will set you free. The accountability has to come from inside. It has to come from an understanding that you have been given opportunities in life, and you have destroyed your ability to access and develop those opportunities, and you have shirked your responsibility to use those talents and abilities that God has given you to help others. I see this kind of falls into what I was talking to the other day about motivation. I don't believe in motivation the way that most people do. All real motivation comes from inside. It doesn't come from outside. If it comes from outside, it's manipulation or coercion. You can do it. Do one more. I think that's horse hockey. If you're doing it, Not because you're saying, I can do this and I will do this. You're doing it because somebody else is saying you can do it. And you're doing it to please them or not disappoint them. I don't get that. I saw a short, I guess it was, by Jocko Willink. Now, I know that he seems like a great guy, but he's, I disagree with him on a number of things. Not about being a SEAL. I wasn't a SEAL. I don't know anything about being a SEAL. That's not my wheelhouse. But the things that I do know about, there's some things that I disagree with him. One of the things is, and it is his reason for getting up early. Get up at 4:30 in the morning because you don't want to do it, and you make yourself do it, and then you've won a battle. And then the next thing you do, you take a cold shower, you don't want to do it, but you do it, you've won another battle. And now, see, you're building up, in his opinion, all these things that you're winning all these battles. No, not at all. Because you're making life a battle. Life doesn't have to be a battle. It shouldn't be a battle. If you have core beliefs and core principles on which you operate, that should be your driver. You should do them because you want to do them, because they fit in to the way you live your life. Not because you have to, not because you're making yourself. Does that make sense? It may seem like a small distinction to some who don't quite understand it, but it is a huge distinction. It is a huge difference. So that you're not forcing yourself to do things you don't want to do, constantly being at war with life and yourself. But you are doing those things that fit in with your basic principles. And as a result, as you do them, they become stronger and stronger and stronger. Okay? And until one day you have, it shouldn't be a battle, it's just what you do. Too many people go through this about accountability. Hold me accountable. Bull. If you need somebody to hold you accountable, you're not going to do it. Because what happens if they don't give you that phone call that day? What happens if they don't show up? What happens if they get run over by a bus? You're not going to act right anymore? You're not going to treat yourself right? You're not going to treat the people in your family or your group right? Okay, so it's not you doing it at all. It's somebody else doing it. Sorry, I had to pause you for just a minute. These tomatoes are just great. Well, your accountability has to come from in here. This is also why I don't believe in bringing groups together. Okay, we're going to be accountable that we're going to do this. And then somebody doesn't do that, and they come to the next meeting, right? And everybody's going to hold them accountable, right? Why do you want somebody like that in your group? Why do you want somebody that has to be made to do what's right? If they're weak, let them go. If they had the inner strength, if they had the inner accountability, if they had the inner motivation, they'd be there and they would do what they're supposed to do. But if they don't have it, no group accountability. Life isn't the military, No, it's really not. The military works on these things because the people have to do it, okay? Have to do it or there's bad consequences. Life isn't like that at all. And you can't live your life as if it's part of a military operation. Life is full of choices. Everybody makes their own choices 100 times a day. But like I said in yesterday's video, if you make your choice, I was talking about there's two parts to any job. Two parts to any job. One, start it. Number two, keep going until the job's done. Simple as that. Simple as that. if you are constantly having to make yourself do it, and making those decisions, this is kind of like what Jocko was saying. You're making the decision to do it instead of not do it. No, that means that your second decision of keep going until the job is done, it wasn't really a decision. It was, I hope I will, I think I will. Okay, no. If you've decided you're going to do this, you just do it. There are no more decisions to be made. And that's also the difference between a principle and those other wishy-washy things, decisions that people make. Principles, your life principles, are bedrock. They're foundational. They don't change with the wind or circumstances. Principles are those things on which other things are founded and against which other things are measured. Well, I have a principle that I'm against such and such, but... Okay, well then it's not a principle. Principle says, I have a principle against such and such, and therefore I won't. And there's more to this, and I'll just stick this in right here to it at the end. You can't change a life or a lifestyle by trying to not do what you've done before. Drinking, smoking, chewing, I don't care, you know. Because you're coming at it from a negative. You know, it's like saying, whatever you do, don't think about a blue monkey. You know, so that now the person's just constantly thinking, well, blue monkey. No. If you're trying to, you know, cut the fat, and to be honest, unless you have a serious medical condition, there is no reason for anybody to be obese. Okay, I know everybody, you know, most people after about 40, 50 carrying a few extra pounds. That's different. There's no reason for anybody to get that. Okay. Very simple way to handle it. Get rid of it. I won't go into that now. But you don't do it by thinking about what you're not going to do. You don't say, I'm not going to have cheesecake. I'm not going to eat that. I'm not going to do that. I've been through this a couple times. I smoked for 20 years and I stopped smoking. Okay, it wasn't easy. No, it wasn't easy. And I know when I tell people, hey, you need to stop smoking. I stopped smoking. I was at 4 packs a day. Well, it's not that easy. Yeah, as if it was easy for me. I used to have a whole lot of extra weight on me when I was 40, and I got rid of it. But it's not that easy, as if it was easy for me. It's not easy. Do it or don't do it. If you want to do it. But you don't think about it negatively. Don't think about, I can't do this, I can't do that. Here's what you have to do. You have to think about what you want to do. I want to be fit. I want to be healthy. I want to be I am a non-smoker. I don't smoke because it's killing me, all right? I eat healthy food because it's good for me, because I want to be healthy, because I am accountable to myself and to God, but I am responsible for those who depend on me. Does that all make sense? So life shouldn't be a constant battle. You decide what's right for you to do, and then you do it. And you don't go... I'm putting up something over on the Patreon channel. It's a picture of a girl who's a ballerina, who was born with no arms. And I put it up there and I said, these are the people I think about. When I hear somebody come on here and say, yeah, but it's difficult, it's not easy for everybody, it's hard for me, but I can't. You know, okay, well, you know, here's a young girl born without arms wanting to be a ballerina, and she is. Is your situation harder than that? I have no patience for excuses. Anyway, accountability. It comes from in here, not outside. So I hope that that's helped someone. Maybe you know somebody. Maybe you don't need this, but maybe you know somebody that this might help. Let them get mad at Steve, Uncle Jim, who often says things that tick people off because they're true, and they see themselves in that truth. But I'll tell you what, Don't go to the bottom before you see the light. See the light before you get to the bottom. It's a lot easier to turn around and head back up than to take that bounce or that splat and try to crawl back up from the bottom. Okay? All right. You all have a good day. Remember, t-shirts are over on the website. So are the books. stonemont.us. If you're not a stonemonter, you need to be. We'd love to have you as a part of us. And remember, do y'all have a garden? You growing beautiful tomatoes? Remember that we prepare well today. Steve, how rude. You're talking while you're chewing and you're eating. And that's to get rid of the weenie that I didn't get with my sip. We prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow. Preparing well today starts with responsibility and accountability. All those are internal. You all have a great day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.